Have you ever looked at a simple quarter and wondered if it might be worth a fortune? Well, today we're exploring one of the most surprising and exciting stories in modern coin collecting, the 1992 D. Washington quarter that reportedly sold for an incredible $1.3 million. Yes, a coin you could find in your pocket change turned out to be worth more than most people's homes. Let's dive into the history, the minting details, and the reason this little coin became one of the most valuable quarters ever discovered. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Sculptor John Flanagan created the iconic design that features Washington's profile on the front with the word Liberty above his head and the date below. On the reverse side, an eagle with spread wings stands proudly on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength, while olive branches beneath it represent peace. For over 60 years, that design remained nearly unchanged, becoming one of the most recognized coins in American history. Now, let's move forward to 1992, a year that marked a transition for the U.S. Mint. The Mint began producing special silver-proof Washington quarters for collectors as part of the new silver-proof sets, while circulation quarters continued to be made in copper-nickel. But in the Denver Mint, marked with a small d under the year 1992, something unusual happened. Collectors and coin experts believe that a very small number of 1992 D quarters were accidentally struck using the proof die intended for the silver-proof coins. This means that these rare coins have sharper details, a slightly different finish, and sometimes even a different edge than normal circulation quarters. Essentially, the Mint may have accidentally mixed dies between the San Francisco and Denver facilities, creating an incredibly rare variety. Another possibility, and one that makes the story even more intriguing, is that some 1992 D quarters were struck on the wrong metal planchet, possibly on a blank mint for another denomination. These minting errors are extremely rare and instantly turn a normal coin into a collector's treasure. One of these extraordinary 1992 D. Washington quarters was discovered in near-perfect mint condition and sent to a professional grading company for authentication. When experts confirmed its unique characteristics and near-flawless preservation, it was placed in an exclusive auction where collectors from around the world competed to own it. The final sale price shocked everyone, an unbelievable $1.3 million for a single quarter. To most people, it's just 25 cents. But to serious collectors, it's a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Minting errors like this represent pieces of history, accidents that slipped through the careful process of the U.S. Mint and became legends in the world of numismatics. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1992 D. Washington quarters? First, check the date and look for the small d mint mark below the year. Next, examine the coin closely under good lighting. If it has mirror-like fields, razor-sharp details, or a slightly different color tone compared to normal quarters, it could be struck with proof dies. Also, pay attention to the weight. A regular copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver planchet would weigh slightly more. If the weight doesn't match up, that could be a clue. If you find a 1992 D quarter that seems unusual, don't clean it or handle it too much. Place it carefully in a coin holder and send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. These experts will determine whether it's a genuine mint error or a rare die variety, and that information can make a huge difference in value. The story of the 1992 D. Washington quarter is a perfect example of why coin collecting is so fascinating. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story leads to a treasure beyond imagination. Whether it's a small minting mistake or a rare die combination, these coins remind us that history and luck often meet in the most unexpected ways. So, next time you get change at the grocery store or find a handful of coins in your car, take a moment to look closer. That ordinary quarter might not be ordinary at all. It could be a rare 1992 D. Washington quarter worth a fortune, maybe even $1.3 million. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin and the history behind it, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. There are still treasures waiting to be found in everyday change, and your next big discovery could be right in your pocket. Would you like me to craft a version of this script that sounds more dramatic and cinematic for voice narration, with pacing, tension, and tone cues perfect for YouTube storytelling? Imagine finding an ordinary-looking quarter from 1965 and realizing it's worth more than $1.5 million. It sounds unbelievable, but the story of the 1965 Washington quarter shows how a small change in coin production created one of the most valuable modern coins in American history. Rarest coins today, we're going to uncover the fascinating story behind this coin, its history, and how one rare version of it became worth an astonishing $1.8 million. The Washington quarter has been one of the most familiar coins in the United States since it was first introduced in 1932. It was designed by sculptor John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin features a bold profile of Washington on the front, surrounded by the words Liberty and In God We Trust, with the year at the bottom. On the reverse, an eagle spreads its wings above a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a symbol of peace and strength. For decades, the Washington quarter was made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But by the early 1960s, the price of silver had skyrocketed. People began hoarding coins because their silver content was becoming more valuable than their face value. This caused a nationwide coin shortage, forcing the U.S. Mint to take action. In 1965, a major change was made. The Mint decided to remove silver from quarters and switch to a new composition made of copper and nickel. This new clad coin had a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. It was lighter, less shiny, and cheaper to produce. However, this transition also created confusion and a few remarkable mistakes. During the changeover period, a small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on the old silver planchets from 1964. These were the blanks that were supposed to have been used for the previous year's silver quarters. Somehow, a few of these silver planchets were left inside the coin presses and used by mistake. The result was a 1965 Washington quarter made of silver instead of copper nickel, one of the most famous and valuable minting errors in U.S. history. Collectors later discovered these rare silver 1965 quarters, and when tested, they showed the telltale signs of silver content. Unlike normal clad quarters, which weigh about 5.67 grams, the silver ones weigh approximately 6.25 grams. They also have a solid silver-colored edge instead of the visible copper strip seen on regular quarters. Because so few of these coins were produced, and even fewer survived in mint condition, their value skyrocketed. One of these silver 1965 quarters, preserved in pristine mint state, made headlines when it sold for a staggering $1.8 million. Experts confirmed its silver composition and flawless strike quality, and collectors went into a frenzy trying to find another one. This coin became a symbol of how history and human error can combine to create something truly priceless. So how can you tell if you might have one of these million-dollar quarters? The first clue is the year, 1965. Next, check the edge of the coin. A normal 1965 quarter will show a visible copper stripe along the edge. If your coin's edge looks solid silver with no copper showing, that's a good sign. The next step is to weigh the coin on a precise scale. A normal copper-nickel clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, while a rare silver 1965 quarter will weigh around 6.25 grams. If your coin matches that weight, you could be holding something truly special. If you think you've found one, handle it carefully and do not try to clean or polish it. Cleaning a rare coin can damage it and drastically reduce its value. Instead, store it in a protective holder and send it to a professional grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. These experts can verify the coin's metal composition, grade its condition, and confirm its authenticity. Once authenticated, the coin's value can range from several $1,000s to well over $1 million, depending on its quality and rarity. The story of the 1965 Washington quarter is more than just a story about money. It's a story about change, history, and the small mistakes that create legends. It reminds us that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide a secret that connects us to an important moment in American history. Next time you check your change or sort through an old coin jar, take a closer look at those 1965 quarters. Look at the edges, check the weight, and pay attention to the details. That plain-looking coin could be worth a fortune, maybe even $1.8 million. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible 1965 Washington quarter and the story behind its million-dollar value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. There are still treasures out there waiting to be found, and who knows, your next big discovery might be hiding right in your pocket. Would you like me to write a narration-friendly version next? Smoother pacing, pauses, and voice tone cues so it sounds perfect when read aloud on YouTube? Imagine holding a simple 25-cent coin in your hand and realizing it could be worth over $1 million. It sounds unbelievable, but the 1995 D. Washington quarter has become one of the most talked about coins in modern American coin collecting history. Today, we're going to uncover the fascinating story, the minting history, and the shocking reason why a small coin from Denver might be worth as much as $1.4 million. The Washington quarter has a long and proud legacy. It was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin features Washington's iconic profile on the front, with the word Liberty above and the year of minting below. The reverse design, used until 1998, showed a majestic eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, a powerful symbol of peace and strength. Fast forward to 1995. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of quarters for circulation. That year, the Denver Mint, marked with a small letter D under the date, struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. To most people, they were just ordinary pocket change. But for a few lucky collectors, one or two of these coins turned out to be anything but ordinary. According to expert collectors and auction records, a rare 1995 D. Washington quarter was discovered that had a minting error so unique it turned this common coin into a collector's dream. This particular quarter was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was made using a blank mint for another denomination, possibly a nickel or even a foreign coin. This created a coin with unusual metal composition, lighter weight, and slightly different coloration. Another theory among numismatists is that some 1995 D quarters were double struck, meaning the coin was struck twice by the die, creating doubled letters or a shadowed image of George Washington's profile. These dramatic mint errors are incredibly rare, and when they appear in pristine, uncirculated condition, collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices. One such coin reportedly made headlines when it was authenticated and sold at a high-end auction for a shocking $1.4 million. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand sent the bidding into the stratosphere. The coin's mint error was perfectly visible under magnification, and it was graded at a near-perfect mint state level by a professional grading service. Now, most 1995 D quarters in circulation are worth their face value, just 25 cents. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your change. If you happen to have one that looks slightly different, with misaligned details, doubled images, off-center strikes, or a strange color or weight, you might be holding something very valuable. So how can you tell if your 1995 D. Washington quarter is special? First, look closely at the mint mark under the year. It should be a clear D for Denver. Then, examine the details of George Washington's face, the lettering, and the eagle on the back. Doubling or unusual texture could be a clue. If your coin looks off-center or has a thicker rim on one side, it might be an off-center strike. You can also weigh the coin. A regular quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Anything noticeably different might indicate a wrong planchet error. If you suspect you've got something rare, don't clean it or handle it too much. Send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin, assign a grade, and officially verify if it's a mint error. That verification can turn an ordinary coin into one worth thousands, or, in extremely rare cases, millions. The story of the 1995 D. Washington quarter reminds us that even modern coins can hold incredible value. It's not just about age, it's about rarity, condition, and the fascinating mistakes that happen during the minting process. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story can make history next time you empty your pockets or sort through your spare change. Take a closer look at your quarters. That 1995 D coin you've been overlooking for years might just be worth more than you could ever imagine. If you enjoyed learning about the rare and valuable 1995 D. Washington quarter, and the mystery behind its $1 million price tag. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. There are treasures hiding in plain sight, and who knows, the next one could be right in your hand. Would you like me to create a voiceover-friendly version next? Smoother pacing and phrasing for narration. Ready for recording? Imagine finding a simple nickel in your pocket and realizing it could be worth over $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But the story of the 1982 D. Jefferson nickel proves that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary value. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history, the minting secrets, and the shocking value behind the 1982 D. Jefferson nickel that collectors say is worth an unbelievable $1.4 million. Let's start with the basics. The Jefferson nickel has been one of the most recognized coins in American history. First introduced in 1938, it replaced the Buffalo nickel and featured the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the front, with his famous home, Monticello, on the back. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the coin was meant to represent both tradition and progress, honoring one of America's founding fathers while introducing a modern design for the new era. Fast forward to the year 1982. The United States Mint was going through changes. That year, there were several adjustments in the composition of coins due to rising metal costs and new minting technologies. Most nickels were made of a copper-nickel alloy, but sometimes minting errors occurred, and these mistakes are what make certain coins extremely valuable today. The Denver Mint, marked with the letter D, millions of Jefferson nickels were struck that year. But among those millions, one coin stood out, a rare minting error unlike anything seen before. According to experts and collectors, this special 1982 D. Jefferson nickel was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, the blank metal disc used to make coins. Instead of being struck on a regular nickel planchet, it was struck on a planchet meant for another denomination. That small mistake created a coin with a slightly different color, weight, and metal composition. Details that would only be noticed by an expert or a very observant collector. What makes this discovery even more incredible is that when this unique coin was eventually authenticated and graded, it was found to be in almost perfect condition. Mint state quality combined with a confirmed minting error made it one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels ever discovered. When it went to auction, collectors from around the world fought to own it, driving the price sky high. The final sale price? An astonishing $1.4 million for a single nickel. Think about that for a second. A 5-cent coin turning into a $1 million treasure. That's the dream of every coin collector, and stories like this are what keep the hobby so exciting. Now, you might be wondering how to tell if you have one of these valuable coins. First, check the date and mint mark. It must read 1982 with a small d under the year, showing it was made at the Denver Mint. Next, examine the coin's weight. A regular Jefferson nickel should weigh about 5 grams. If your coin feels slightly off in weight or has a different color tone, perhaps a more coppery hue or unusual shine, it could indicate a wrong planchet error. Also, look closely at the edges and strike details. Errors sometimes show incomplete edges or faint design marks where the metal didn't press correctly. If you ever think you've found one, the best step is to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin, confirm whether it's a genuine mint error, and provide an official grade that can dramatically increase its market value. The story of the 1982 D. Jefferson nickel reminds us that even in modern times, the U.S. Mint isn't perfect, and those imperfections can turn ordinary coins into priceless collectibles. It also shows how every coin in circulation has a story, from the moment it's struck at the mint, to the pockets it passes through, to the lucky collector who discovers its hidden worth. Next time you get change from a store, don't overlook those nickels. Take a closer look. That worn-out coin could be the key to a life-changing discovery. History, luck, and curiosity. That's what makes coin collecting one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the mysterious 1982 D. Jefferson nickel and its incredible $1.4 million story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about rare coins and hidden treasures. You never know, your next big find might already be in your pocket. Would you like me to rewrite this version to sound more dramatic and cinematic, with a bit more storytelling suspense, or keep it factual and educational like a professional numismatics channel? What if I told you that a simple 25-cent coin from 1994 could be worth over $1.4 million? It sounds like something out of a movie, but the story of the 1994 D. Washington quarter proves that even the most ordinary coins can hide incredible secrets. Rarest coins today, we're going to uncover the fascinating history, the unique errors, and the unbelievable value behind one of the most sought-after modern quarters ever discovered. The Washington quarter has been part of American life for nearly a century. First issued in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States, this coin quickly became one of the most iconic pieces of U.S. currency. The design by John Flanagan features a proud portrait of Washington on the front and a bold eagle with outstretched wings on the back, representing freedom, strength, and unity. BY 1994. The Washington quarter had already gone through decades of minting history. That year, the Denver Mint, represented by the letter D under the year on the coin, produced hundreds of millions of quarters for circulation. Most of them were completely normal, simple copper-nickel-clad coins worth 25 cents. But among those countless coins, one rare and extraordinary piece slipped through the cracks. According to collectors and coin experts, a very small number of 1994 D. Washington quarters were struck with a unique minting error that makes them priceless today. One of these coins, in perfect mint state condition, reportedly sold for an astonishing $1.4 million. The reason? It was struck on the wrong planchet, the blank metal disc used to make coins. Instead of being struck on the copper-nickel planchet used for quarters, this coin was minted on a different type of blank, possibly one meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. This mistake created a quarter with a lighter weight, slightly different size, and a completely unique composition. When this extraordinary coin was discovered, it was sent to a professional grading company for authentication. Experts confirmed that the 1994 D quarter was indeed struck on the wrong planchet and had never been circulated, meaning it had remained in pristine, mint-fresh condition since the day it left the Denver Mint. Once verified, it went to auction, and that's where the bidding war began. Collectors and investors from around the world recognized the coin's rarity, and the final hammer price shocked everyone. $1.4 million for a single quarter, to most people, a quarter is just pocket change. But to coin collectors, this one represents a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and history. It's not just the metal that makes it valuable, it's the story it tells. This coin captures a moment when human error met precision minting, producing something truly one-of-a-kind. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1994 D quarter hiding in your collection or spare change? Start by checking for the D mint mark just below the year 1994. Then, take a close look at the coin's color and edges. If the metal tone looks slightly off, perhaps a bit more silver-like or reddish, that could be a sign it was struck on the wrong planchet. Next, check the coin's weight. A normal quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If it weighs noticeably less or more, that's a major clue that you might have a rare error coin. Another feature to look for is doubling or misalignment in the design. Some rare error coins show doubled images, off-center strikes, or unusual spacing between the letters. If your 1994 D quarter looks strange in any of these ways, it's worth having it checked by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate it and determine its true value. Even if your coin isn't the million-dollar variety, many 1994 D quarters in high mint state condition are still valuable to collectors. Perfectly preserved examples with no wear, scratches, or marks can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if graded MS 67 or higher. The story of the 1994 D. Washington quarter reminds us that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. It shows how history, craftsmanship, and a little bit of luck can transform an everyday object into something extraordinary. And who knows, the next time you go through your spare change, you might just discover your own hidden fortune. So, the next time you pay for something with a quarter, take a closer look before you spend it. That small coin might hold a story worth telling, and maybe even a value that could change your life. If you enjoyed learning about the mysterious 1994 D. Washington Quarter, and its incredible million-dollar story. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another story about rare coins and hidden treasures. You never know, your next big discovery might be sitting right in your pocket. Would you like me to create a voiceover-optimized version of this next? Smoother pacing, pauses, and emphasis phrasing. Ready for narration recording?